Hello everyone, MUFS here to welcome you to the 158th episode of Starfield. So, we are doing the second run and we are Starbound. These guys are not here to arrest me though. In the last episode we came over here in Infinity Ltd to infiltrate them. Today we are gonna report it to SSNN and then we are gonna head back to Ryujin. If you haven't seen the last episode, I urge you to do that because that was something, really something.
You can't go in.
So
you just can't.
Today we are gonna talk to
We're close
David
to the action
Barron.
here in New Atlantis.
Barron?
Prime position to report on the big stories that affect the United Colonies. Can I help you?
Yes, you can.
But I came all this way.
Look at me so I can talk.
Listen, I might be able to hook you up with some merch. Maybe get you.
I've got
a ticket to a shooting
SSNN's
gig he's
next
got.
major headline.
That's all I can do.
All right. You've got my attention. What's this so-called story about?
Find out for yourself. The details are all on this slate.
All right. I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence.
Isn't the truth more important than how it was obtained?
Well, obviously the truth is what matters most. But oftentimes, the source can help substantiate the evidence. We have a reputation to uphold as a news network. I'm sure you can understand that.
I can't reveal my sources. I'm sure as a reporter you understand that.
Of course. I just hope your source is as reliable as you think they are. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source?
I think you know the drill here.
Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do.
Sure. Our job here is done.
David Barron is the most famous journalist in the settled systems.
Yeah. And I just talked to him. Barrett. Let's go.
Nice hat.
Excusez-moi. I'm beyond ready, Dusty.
You are? Are you ready? You are not talking to me. And the region thing is getting almost done. Let's land over here.
I understand why people settled here, but it's not really my style. It's more like a trap than a diversion.
I'll be screamed at because I killed so many people, but I mean at least one. So let's get on with it.
I've got my eye on you.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for a while. Let's close the door so that no one's hear her screaming at me. Masako.
I believe you were specifically told that we did not want a body count on this assignment.
But he was... If someone attacks me, I'm going to defend myself.
A poor excuse.
Nope.
All the tools at your disposal, and yet here we are. I hope you at least attempted to use the internal neuroamp.
It was extremely useful.
And yet not useful enough to avoid a body count?
Nope. At that
Still,
point...
it's good to know the applications are proving themselves. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
The murders are believed to be linked to a new investigation where Drexler would have been accused of numerous violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself have yet to be confirmed, but it's believed that Masako Imada, CEO of Ryujin Industries, may be involved.
I'm sorry, Masako.
A series of communications
That can't
between
be.
Drexler and Imada were discovered, where she encouraged Drexler to ignore approval guidelines for human trials. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Masako?
Impossible. You set me up.
I did not. I had nothing to do with this. For all I know is the truth.
You expect me to believe you're simply an unwilling pawn in this?
Believe it or not, is the truth. Or let's say someone has it out for you, but it's not me.
We'll find out soon enough. Assuming I know exactly how this situation came about, I have only a few things to say. Should Ularu run this company, the reputation of Ryujin Industries will change dramatically. Her unchecked tactics will be heavy-handed, involving murder without question of both the innocent and the guilty.
Yeah, I know.
Ryujin may gain financial success, but the percentage is not worth the real cost.
Look, neither of these two are getting invited to the Constellation holiday party. But Ularu is demonstrably worse here.
I know. Let's manipulate her. Ularu is going to be good for Ryujin. The company will always come first.
But she's... It's true. Ularu's always put Ryujin first, and I can't argue that.
Bad
Even with
hate
her
that.
aggressive tactics, she'll keep Ryujin at the top for decades to come. I encourage you to speak to the board members.
That easy?
We'll be having the meeting shortly to determine the fate of Infinity Ltd. And now I imagine myself as CEO. We must receive at least 50% of the vote. I trust you'll be able to sway them to make the right decisions.
And don't judge me on this. I told you, I am the bad guy.
Keep out of my way, and
So-
I'll keep out of yours.
Ularu,
I take it Masako wasn't as pleased to hear the SSNN broadcasts as she thought she'd be?
no, she wasn't. Masako is pretty certain that you were behind it.
I'm sure she does. She knows I'm the only one that could pull this off. And now she's going to have some serious regrets about holding this upcoming board meeting. Which brings me back to you. Masako wants us to acquire Infinity Ltd., which is obviously not on my list of things to do. I need you to persuade the board members otherwise, and make sure they're on our side when I move to vote Masako out.
What if I can't persuade them?
If you can't persuade them, I can only assume you don't have Ryujin's best interests at heart. You have the internal neuroamp at your disposal. There's no excuse for failure.
So I'm gonna use that onto you. The acquisition has benefits, qualified employees, contracts, etc.
You don't think I've weighed those possibilities? Actually, perhaps I was a little overzealous.
Yep.
Being able to pick and choose the talent as I see fit does have plenty of benefits.
Yep.
And I could hold the garnered good faith over Viv for years to come. All right, I'm convinced. But if this turns into a mistake, I'm holding you accountable. Just get the others on board. The internal neuroamp essentially guarantees success.
Yep. You'll get the results you want.
And if not, I guarantee there will be repercussions. With Masako out of the way and the internal neuroamp finally ready for production, Ryujin Industries will be set for life. Or at least until I retire.
Didn't figure you for a cup is half full kind of person. You really think you'll make it to retirement before this place eats you up, huh?
Aren't you concerned at all about the internal neuroamp and how powerful it is?
Of course not. We have the means to keep a close eye on tech like this. And if need be, we can dictate exactly who receives one.
Like you said, the internal neuroamp guarantees success.
Exactly. And all you need to do is use it to get the board on the winning side.
Okay. I'll have to leave Barrett outside. Barrett, you come with me, buddy. You need to stay out of it.
Ryujin certainly spared no expense in their executive.
Let's put Barrett over here outside of Ryujin. Come on, Barrett. You don't need to see what I'm gonna do.
Hey, Captain.
Wait here.
Right-ho, Captain.
Sure. So I am wearing this operative suit, which I can let go now. Yeah, I'm good with this. Okay, let's find our people whom we are going to manipulate. So, first one first.
If operation
Vina.
starts to bore you, let me know. You'd make a perfect lab rat for the R&D team.
Sure.
And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope.
Are those actual side effects?
What? No, of course not. They're purely theoretical.
I feel great. No side effects as far as I can tell.
That's great. I'd say Project Dominion is ready for legitimate human trials in that case. One step closer to seeing market approval. Genevieve is going to be so excited.
Oh,
So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp.
now I'm going to go for the neuroamp this time because I'm the bad guy, and for Ularu obviously. So this internal neuroamp changes everything. Vina, you're going to be famous.
I'd be the next Ray DeCaris, my childhood hero and mentor. How amazing would that be? DeMarcus, eat your heart out. Don't tell him I said that. He knows I love and respect him. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be?
There's bound to be something inspiring or new in their research.
That's what I'm hoping for. They may be the underdog, but that doesn't mean they don't have a brilliant mind or two. I know Masako will be pushing for the acquisition.
There's another thing. I think it's time Ularu took over as CEO. Masako has obviously failed. Okay, let's go for this one. Do you really think Masako is going to be good for Ryujin's future?
Well, if she can make it through the current drama, I'd say she's more than prepared to handle anything that gets thrown at us in the future.
That's another thing. I think it's time that Ularu took over as CEO. Masako has obviously failed.
I still can't get over everything that's happening, but you're right. Maybe a change of leadership is needed in order to prevent this from happening again. And I have no doubt that Ularu would keep my department fully funded. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
Okay, let's talk.
You operatives really will wear anything.
Yeah. Lyndon.
Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available.
Sure. I'm happy to help answer any questions you might have.
Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity LTD throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why?
What makes you think I actually had contact with enough of them to know?
You can tell a lot by just looking at a workspace or simply observing a person in their business environment. Perhaps I mistakenly assumed that as an operative here, observation was a talent of yours.
Of course, we can save the jobs of thousands of people. We should do it.
Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part.
Let's manipulate. Or ask him first. You have the opportunity to do some good here. Why not take it?
That is a plea more well spent on Genevieve or Alexis. I prefer to focus on the numbers and leave emotions out of my decision-making.
It sounds like you already made your decision, so why even ask me?
Perhaps I wanted to see if I could be convinced otherwise. It's easy to say, it's the right thing to do for someone in your position. But for me, Infinity LTD is a huge financial unknown. It's high risk versus mediocre reward.
So I'll let you help to get the decisions. Let's manipulate. We'd be getting employees on Infinity's cheaper salary numbers.
This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What are your thoughts on SSNN's reports that Masako is allegedly connected to Lucas Drexler?
Masako must have been desperate to have stooped so low.
Yes. Desperation often leads to poor life choices. I find it difficult to believe that our CEO was truthfully involved in such endeavors. I look forward to seeing what Alexis can learn about the subject.
Why don't you think Masako is capable of this?
Oh, Masako is quite capable of doing this. But to put it bluntly, it's not her style. First, she'd never directly involve herself. We let others take the fall in this business. Second, it's too complex. Masako prefers elegant simplicity, which is why I admire her. Third, Masako isn't a killer, and believes casualties are bad for business.
Guilty or not, if someone like Ularu was CEO, this never would have happened.
Yes, Ularu would be a very capable CEO. Her loyalty to Ryujin is unmatched. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been.
What are your thoughts on the internal neuroram?
It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future.
Nothing I can think of. See you at the meeting.
This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
Sure. Now, let's go talk to her.
If only
Alexis,
there were more hours in the day.
The mother of Jalen Price.
If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this meeting.
I heard you're not a fan of acquiring Infinity Ltd.
You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd is the Pandora's box of corporations.
What are the details on why you don't want to acquire Infinity Ltd?
I can guarantee that Infinity Ltd was up to more than just the current charges. The process of finding and following up on all those threads won't be easy. I refuse to be blindsided by another corporation's past, so this is going to take a lot of time and patience.
Let's persuade. Legal issues aside, the pros of acquiring Infinity Ltd far outweigh the cons.
All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset.
I don't have manipulation. Let's go leadership. If anyone can navigate the loopholes and ease minds during the acquisition, it would be you.
A certain amount of confidence during the negotiations would go a long way in this situation.
Here's my manipulation. You don't really want to put thousands out of a job, do you?
I'm finding myself unable to disagree. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom.
Have you been preparing for having the internal neuramp on the open market?
Unfortunately. Half my department's been poring over documentation, while the other half is writing up what legal guidance they can.
The internal neuramp would make handling any situation a breeze.
Are you trying to add to my stress right now? First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life.
Well, you can't.
Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Let's do. Is there anything positive you can think of about the internal neuramp?
Tech like this only has good applications when you have complete control over who uses it. Once that tech hits a market, open or private, that control is gone. And not only that, the tech is out there to be advanced or modified by anyone who might get their hands on it.
Why dislike the internal neuramp versus regular neuramps?
Because the external neuroamps are built to help the user on a personal level. They aid in reason, communication, confidence, all things that can make the difference in a person's self-image. And yes, they can be abused, but that's why there are laws regarding improper usage.
Let's do manipulation. With proper legal guidance, the applications for the internal neuramp are endless.
In an ideal situation, yes. And I suppose creating that ideal situation is within my power. Now you've made it sound like a proper challenge that I can't help but accept. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has.
Do you think Masako has what it takes to keep Ryujin successful for years to come?
If the board can navigate this current mess without falling apart, I'm certain of recovery. Masako's pulled this company through some rough times. I'm willing to bet she still has a few cards to play.
Have you ever considered someone else in Masako's place?
Masako's successor will obviously be Ularu. She's qualified, but a little too heavy-handed for my taste. I prefer a CEO that makes my job easier, not harder.
What do you think of Masako's involvement with Infinity Ltd?
To put it bluntly, it's bullshit. This is way outside of Masako's capability. I've worked with that woman for over a decade. Even her more aggressive actions never came close to this. Besides, if she wanted to acquire Infinity Ltd., there are simpler ways to go about it. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
Come on, can't I talk to you
I really need to get back to my notes.
Oh, I was going there. Anyway, I was gonna ask you to...
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Shut up. You just shut up, okay? Let's talk to Genevieve.
Don't tell me. Masako wants to make sure I'm still on her side after SSNN dropped this media bomb on us?
Why would you think Masako sent me?
Because that's what I do. You want something in this business? You don't pull any punches. The only real question is just how persuasive she asked you to be.
I'm here on my own.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have an agenda. Look, I know Masako sent you. She knows I want this deal as much as she does. Now that she's been tied to Lucas, buying up Infinity Ltd. only reinforces the narrative. It's gonna be a hard sell to make this look good.
Is there any benefits to acquire Infinity Ltd. At this point?
Well, now? Nothing, really. We'd still be saving jobs, offering a sense of security, but all that will be lost when it comes to the public. All they'll see is a hawk swooping in for the kill.
How does buying Infinity Ltd. Reinforce the narrative?
The public is going to see Masako as the grand orchestrator of this mess that Infinity Ltd. Is now in. They'll believe she duped Lucas into performing desperate, inhumane acts, so she could later frame him and tank the company. Buying Infinity Ltd. provides the motive that everyone will be looking for.
Yes, let's give them that option. You're still helping the innocent workers. If anyone can make it look good, it's you.
Aren't you the flatterer? You're right, of course. I've certainly handled worse. Besides, I haven't had a good challenge like this in a while.
Okay, is the public all you actually care about?
The consumer is our lifeblood. So capturing their wants and desires? Of course, it's all I care about. I'm sure I wouldn't be in this position today if it wasn't.
You know, if you really want to keep Ryujin in the public's good graces, there are two things to consider.
All right. I suppose you've earned the right to voice your opinion after everything you've done, qualified or not. So let's hear it.
Let's directly go to manipulation. Competition is more cutthroat than ever. Ularu needs to be running this company.
Now that's a delicate subject. But our competition really is upping their game. If we want to survive the coming onslaught, you're right. Ularu would be the logical choice. And what's your second point to consider?
We should be exploiting the internal neuroamp every chance we get.
You're preaching to the choir. I have every intention of using it to our full advantage. In fact, I already have an entire marketing campaign in the works, and ready to pitch once it's officially approved. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
Okay, last but not least, we have Dalton to talk to. Dalton?
This meeting should prove to be very interesting, especially after that bomb SSNN dropped in their last broadcast. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome.
I was told to use the internal neuroamp to make sure the board votes to acquire Infinity Ltd.
That blasted tech. If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened.
Let's manipulate. Project Dominion is essential to future success. It has risks, but nothing you can't handle.
I suppose you're right. As long as I'm fully aware of the risks, I can properly account for them. My first priority will be to get the board and all security members set up with shielding as soon as possible. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause.
The acquisition is worth the work. I know your team can handle it.
I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd. is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process.
Let's go directly to Persuade. I know you believe in Masako, but after all this, I think Ularu is a better fit for CEO.
You would side against her after everything we've been through? I can't shake this feeling that I too have doubts. Perhaps if you present your argument, I might better be able to understand my own thoughts on the matter.
Let's go with leadership. Ularu is one of the strongest leaders out there. Ryujin is successful because of her, not Masako.
You've been sorely misguided to believe something like that.
Let's go with persuasion. After everything we have been through, I wouldn't steer you wrong here.
I don't believe you would. Intentionally. It's the motives of others that have me concerned.
Let's go with the security. If you support Ularu, I'm sure she'll be willing to forget a mole ever slipped by security to begin with.
Not that it was a huge concern, but it would be nice to be rid of the shadow it's left.
Let's do the manipulation. Dalton, you know I'm right. It's time for Ularu to run up the show.
As shocking as this may sound, I think you're finally pinpointing my source of doubt. I owe Masako a great debt for my success in life. It pains me to admit you're right.
I'm sorry,
now,
Masako.
If you'll excuse me, I need to make sure I'm prepared for this meeting.
Okay. So we will be going for the meeting. Let everyone go. I have some things to steal. Whoa. That is some kind of thing I've never seen before. Okay. Now what? Where is DGP? I got you. You have this as well. Let's steal. Nope, I cannot use you. 1, 2, 3, yep. Before that, I need to secure you. So I need you and you. However, I can use just you two. I can use you. Credits, Infantry Alpha. Last but not least, Masako, I need to check from your room. Excuse-moi, I need to steal from here. Okay, now let's see what we have over here. We can have you and you. And over here we can have you and you. Come on. Finally, I think I got it. Okay, there are a lot of things. Razorback, I'm gonna take this one. And I believe I took out from here. Yeah, I did. So let's try to find out what else do I need to do. This is the restroom.
Don't cause any trouble.
I am causing troubles. Cannot close the door. It seems like I cannot. Do I have to go through Dalton's computer? I have never been through. Let's do this. One, two, three, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, now what? You're gonna make me use single ones? You, damn you. I don't like you at all. What do we have here? Security alerts, employee ID. Messages. Tomo Higashi is no longer with the corporation. Please see the usual search and purge of his office equipment. I don't expect you will find anything. Safe proof of his own incompetence, but let me know if you do. Small favor. One of my techs ran into some interesting encryption. I was hoping you could take a look and maybe tweak an algorithm or two to help crack it. You know, simple stuff. I'll owe you lunch. Dalton, I'd like for you to review the current security levels for our subsidiaries. I've heard rumors that TIO engineers may have access to aspect of our R&D database that I suspect Vina had a hand in. While I support her wish to share knowledge, we cannot allow competitors to see this as a backdoor. Okay. Anything else? I don't think so. So, yeah, kind of waste. But I had to, right? I sure got your safe. And you're safe. And you don't have any safe. So yeah, let's go and attend the meeting. Please don't judge me, I'm the bad guy.
To start this meeting, let me just say that the SSNN allegations are completely false.
I don't think so.
And you expect us to just believe that?
If they're false, how did this happen?
I'll be ordering a full investigation, but I have my suspicions, which I'll address once this meeting has concluded. Until then, I'm still CEO, and we'll be moving forward with this meeting to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Do you really think we want a potential criminal? One suspected of being the actual mole here, leading a crucial meeting like this? In fact, I propose we remove Masako as CEO altogether, and nominate myself to take her place.
Masako brought us this far, but it's time for Ularu to take over.
You can't be serious.
Well, Masako.
As much as it pains me to say it, I second the motion. My apologies, Masako, but we've failed here. Perhaps new leadership is what's needed moving forward.
Dalton, you can't seriously believe that.
Agreed. I initially believed we could pull through this, but I think a fresh perspective is necessary to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Any arguments against?
Yes, on the fact that I'm innocent and completely capable of doing my job.
Let's leave it up to the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, there you have it. And now, since you're no longer a part of this board, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
This isn't over.
It's for the best, Masako.
To think I had high hopes for you.
Now, Masako, don't go taking out your shortcomings on our operative here.
Enough with your attitude, Ularu. I don't care what anyone says or what the evidence is. I know you're behind this.
Yes, she
and I'll
is.
prove it, no matter how long it takes.
Good thing you're going to have plenty of time on your hands, then. Security, why don't you escort Masako to her office? I'm sure law enforcement will be looking for her soon anyway. Now, let's get back to business. So, any arguments for the acquisition?
Our intention to purchase Infinity Ltd would put the employee's mind at ease.
This acquisition is sure to have its financial pitfalls, but as a wise person pointed out, it would have major payoffs in the future. Plus, with their current situation, Infinity Ltd will be more affordable than ever.
Legal ramifications are a certainty, but the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages.
Arguments against? None? All right. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Excellent. Not bad for my first meeting. Does anyone have anything else to bring to the table before we break? I almost hate to ask now, but are there any other matters to bring forth? No? Good. Meeting adjourned.
So much work to do.
Yeah, Ularu.
No more Masako as CEO. Well done.
Sure.
Of course, we're now acquiring Infinity Ltd, but I'll leave that mess for the others to handle. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. For me especially.
I hope that means I'll be getting a raise.
I will see to it that Linden increases your assignment payout. It takes guts for someone in your position to go up against the CEO. And Masako never saw it coming.
I'm sure the next CEO won't see it coming either.
Exactly. What will happen to Masako now?
She'll be tied up in court, disputing the evidence against her. It's sure to be a long, drawn-out ordeal. I hope Alexis is ready for some late nights. But I do good work. She'll be found guilty and spend the rest of her life in jail.
Whatever it takes to keep Ryujin on top.
That attitude must be why we work so well together. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I'm sure you'll find it adequate for all you've done. I'm also promoting you to Senior Operative. You've certainly proven yourself capable enough.
That's an understatement.
If that helps pad your ego, so be it. As a senior op, you now have a personal office, mission board access, and you're free to work on your own time. The mission board will hold any available assignments, although I may still notify you should I require your more specific talents. Oh, and no more docs and pay. I only care about the end result, not the methods. Any questions?
I no longer get penalized while doing these assignments?
With Masako gone, penalties are a thing of the past. Results are all that matter. Besides, the benefits typically outweigh the cost of any cleanup.
What's the mission board?
It's basically an automated handler. Think of it as your personal kiosk that lets you pick and choose your own assignments.
Where's my new office?
On the operations floor, of course.
So, I get my assignments from a machine now?
The majority of them, at least. Trust me, it's better this way.
What kind of assignments are these?
Nothing you haven't done already. Uploading files, obtaining schematics, simple stuff.
I think I have all the information I need.
In that case, I suggest you get familiar with the mission board before you leave today. I'll admit, you helped me pull off a pretty big win. So, if you want to take some time off, I get it. Just don't forget, you still have a job that I expect you to do.
Huh. Not much credit, right? Well, let's get to see the mission board. We look at the mission board, may not take a job, may take a job, who knows? Because Barrett is not free with us yet. Maybe we can do a few missions.
I heard about your run-in with Tomo. That guy will never...
Sure. And that's our office there.
My next assignment can't start soon enough.
And there are a few things I get free, of course. Reconciliation, CBX. Come on. That's Hippolyta. And obviously professional advanced bridge. I'll take that. And over here I get 0.45 caliber, 1.5 kV laser. Solstice I'll keep. Reactive gauge. We still have some weight we can take. Okay, let's check out the kiosk. Hack Stroutek land, plant evidence, liar of firearms, sabotage Hoptech. We take all of these, maybe do these things while wait for Barrett to talk to us. Let's do these missions in the next episode, shall we? Let's go find Barrett in the lobby. Oh, Barrett. Where's Barrett? Come on. How did he go upstairs? Barrett? How did you manage to...
eye on you.
Yeah, you can have your eyes, legs, foot, whatever you want. How the hell did you manage to get up on here? Come on. Let's get moving.
Do you need something? I'm beyond ready, Dusty.
Are you? By now you should have been, we should have been doing your job instead. Your mission. Afterwards, I'll have to move to Dazra and do my babe's mission. Well, it seems like this is gonna be a shorter episode, but that is what we are gonna do. We are gonna end the episode over here. So, that's it for this episode. If you're not a sub, please consider subscribing because that's my feel. And while you subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the thumbs up button. And if you did not, well, in that case, you can press the thumbs down button. But I'll highly urge you not to do that. I hope to see you guys in the next episode because in the next episode we are going to do some small missions which I did not want to do, but unfortunately Barrett is not opening up enough. So I'm gonna do that, and we still have 2 more talks to Barrett before we can do his mission. So I'll have to wait, and maybe in the next episode after we finish those missions we can do the ground pounder. That is an amazing mission and I really enjoy doing that, and that's on our agenda nonetheless. So I really hope to see you guys there. Till then, stay safe, take care, and bye bye. MUFS signing off.